We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We are deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. I'm Robin Gagnon.
And I'm Eric Gagnon, and we sell restaurants. We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm, We Sell Restaurants, over a decade ago. You can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.
That's not the only place we can be seen and heard. We're on your radio once a week with the leading authorities in the restaurant industry, talking about subjects trending in the restaurant business. Tweet your own questions on the topic while we're on the air. Our Twitter handle is @SellRestaurants. Post them to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WeSellRestaurants. Check out our YouTube channel. It's We Sell Restaurants. If we don't get to your question, we will follow up on our social media channels.
Our goal is to satisfy your appetite for acquisition, feed the need for restaurant reality, and serve up a recipe for business success. If you have any ideas or any comments for the show, feel free to email me. My email is Eric, E-R-I-C, @WeSellRestaurants.com.
Today, we are getting the scoop on MasterChef. You know the show. It's an American reality television competition on the air for 5 seasons, with casting calls for Season 6 coming to a close just last month. The series conducts a nationwide search for the best home cooks in America. The top home cooks are put through their paces in a series of challenges designed to test their palates, food knowledge, passion, and culinary skills. We have a former contestant on the show here to give us an inside scoop on what happens before and after the cameras start rolling and how this competition changed his life. Our guest today is Christian Green. Christian was one of the top chefs in MasterChef Season 5. He has a history as a sales representative in New Orleans, Louisiana. His signature dish, sounds delicious, macadamia-crusted chicken, garlic mash with 2 signature sauces. Christian has plans to open up his very own food truck in New Orleans that soon with the help of Gordan Ramsey. Thank you for joining us today, Christian.
How you doing?
We're doing great. Thank you so much.
And you're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so Christian, life before MasterChef. Were you a professional chef before the competition? What were you doing, and what are you doing now?
I wouldn't call myself a professional chef back then. I was actually working for a telephone company, setting up cable at different places around New Orleans and whatnot. More so of a salesman type of person. And but cooking has always been a passion that I've always had. I worked at some retirement homes and whatnot, and I also was like prep cooking at like different restaurants. So. I wouldn't call myself a top chef back then, but I currently am now.
That is great. So what happened to get you from one day doing telephone setup, as you said, and the next day being on this TV show? Tell us a little bit about the audition process.
Well, basically, the audition process was very strenuous, I can say. When it all started out, my fiance came to me and she asked me, like, you know how to cook and you cook very well. And she was like, would you want to be on a TV show? And I'm like, what TV show? She was like, MasterChef. So I was like, what is MasterChef? So, I've never saw the show and whatnot. And, you know, I knew of a little bit of the show by watching it on YouTube and everything and whatnot, and past winners and everything. But I really never sat down and sat still to watch the show. So she presented some pictures and everything. We did the paperwork and whatnot. So I just went down to the audition. It was quite over about 800 something people that was auditioning in New Orleans.
Wow, 800 people.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was over. And you know, I walked in and I was just more so myself. You know, I brought in one of my other signature dishes, which is my Crawford's Creole lasagna that I make. And you know, I walked into the hotel and everybody was like, "Wow, that smells good." So as I took the lid off the lasagna, you can just easily see the steam just coming out of it. So that was a plus and whatnot. And you know, we went into different auditions areas, and they tried my food, and they waited to the last two individuals that was in the room to say that we made it to the next round. And then, you know, I went into the meetings with executives, and it was just from there.
Sure. Now, we know that, you know, the show on TV is 60 minutes, but there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more taping, and a lot of stuff happens, you know, that you don't get to see on TV. What are some of the things that you can share with us today that happened during the competition that did not make it to the 60-minute cut?
It's like, you just got to work. That's all I can more so give you. You know, you really just got to stay focused and, you know, do what you got to do. But like, if I was on the other side of everything, what you see is what you get. It's really that.
Now, did you guys cook all day, or is it every day you're cooking 6, 7, 8 hours a day, or just more like a 2, 3 hours? You make your dish, you produce a show, and you go and get some rest. Or how was kind of the schedule?
There was no practice.
Woo! It is live. Then it's you live. Fail or survive it.
Right. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
I mean, you know, we study. You know, we have a little book area.
Okay.
You know, but like, you know, you study to cook different things, different styles, different plating strategies. You know what can go with what. But like, Fozzie, we cook every single day. No, we didn't cook every single day.
So tell us about the judges. Okay, first of all, everybody wants to know about Gordan Ramsey, but was some of this judging tough love? Did you really have an affinity or a mentorship with somebody else? Tell us the inside scoop on those judges.
Well, you know, I definitely would start with Joe Bastianich. I mean, Joe Bastianich is what you see is what you get as well, you know. He's a great guy, but, you know, he can be an anus at times, but you know, sometimes you just gotta hold your tongue with Joe, you know. But when it all boils down to it, you know, the man knows what he's talking about. He knows what he likes, and he knows what tastes very well to him, you know. As far as Graham is great. Graham, you know, he basically took time out of his time to explain different things that we never used. You know, he was very supportive, very helpful, and, you know, he was straightforward and also straight to the point and real. Mm-hmm. You know, even though they're all real, but Graham was great, you know. And then Gordan Ramsey was just an icon to me. You know, he basically, in my eyes, is a mentor. They're all mentors, but, you know, Gordan Ramsey is more higher than them because, you know, me looking back at, you know, the things that he has gone through to get to where he's at through the culinary industry, from, you know, playing a professional sport, which is soccer. I used to play football. And, you know, just a lot of, you know, things can happen. So he developed a love for food. And I look at my life and, you know, I look at it as how my life has transitioned from sport to food, and more so where I'm going and where I'm trying to take my brand. And, you know, him telling me, you know, through the course of, you know, the process that, you know, you was born to cook, you was born to do this, you was born to do what you do, because, you know, there were some episodes that people thought I was going home to croak and boosh. But, you know, I really stayed on my task and I really continued doing what I did. So when I exited the show, I wasn't disappointed in myself. You know, my focus wasn't to come there and, you know, win the show, which would have been icing on the cake, but to more so showcase my talent and my ability and my love for food. You know, to walk out with an investor, I mean, that says a lot to me, more so in a way. So ask Gordan Ramsey. Gordan Ramsey is the man.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, he's the man.
And Christian, let's take a leap forward a little bit here. Let's talk about, now you've been to the show, it was feet to the fire, what you see is what you get. And what has changed now in your career, Pat? I mean, obviously this has transformed your life a little bit. So what is now going to happen from the show on? What happened to you?
Well, as far as from the show on, I hold myself high, I went to the show for them to critique my ability to cook, and they've done, because everything that I presented in front of them was great. I mean, even when I just, did the turkey burger, and the first turkey burger that they asked for, it was seasoned perfectly, and it was on point. So basically how I transitioned my life, I'm actually in the process of working on my business plan for my food truck. And also my baby of it all, which is my brand, which is Food Fashion Taste, #FFT, is basically my catering company that I'm actually working on. And I'm just basically giving back to the city of New Orleans, basically getting my story out, and also have an opportunity to give back to the city. And I'm actually doing special appearances, which is pretty cool. And that's basically really it.
Okay, so let me take you back to where we started, and that was that fiance of yours who had the idea and said, hey, you need to do this. You guys still together, and what does she think of your success?
Oh, my fiance is amazing. She's been very supportive and everything. And now that I'm doing it, and, I've been cooking for over 15 years, now that I really see, how much of a talent that I have, and she's been the one to more so help me see that. So we're together. The wedding is soon.
Ooh.
And she's I have a dinner for 30 Saturday, and she have her chef coat already done up and ready to work, and I am too. So as far as that, she's great.
Good. Great. Well, congratulations. We look forward to you guys having a great, happy life together. And let me ask you a little bit about, you talk about the judges, you talk about the competition, but for you, what was the most stressful part of the whole experience?
Missing my family, missing my son.
Okay.
How long were you actually away from them?
I was gone for about 3.5 months.
Wow. Okay, so that's a long time. So is this like, we've had Hell's Kitchen contestants on before, you're all sequestered together? Is it in a dorm type scenario? Is that the same thing with MasterChef, or do they do it a little differently?
I don't know. I mean, as far as with that, whoever try out, they got to see for themselves.
But did you live in a hotel? Did you live in an apartment with other contestants when you were away?
I was in a hotel.
By yourself? You had your own room?
By myself.
Okay, so see, that's interesting, because I think part of the dynamic of some shows is to throw everybody into this common household and have sort of this competition continue after hours. So that's interesting. They do it a little differently with MasterChef.
But that's not saying we didn't have doings with the other contestants. Like, we stayed together.
Okay.
Sure. Did you make any friends on the show? Did you have people that actually came back and you kept in touch with after the show?
I keep in touch with Elizabeth, Willie, Cutter, Christine, Francis. Like, we all keep in contact. We're a big family.
Ah, that's great. Now, you watched some of the earlier seasons. In your opinion, was the season you were on one of the best, and why?
I'm going to say it like this. We've spoken to the executives, we've spoken to everybody that, worked the past season. But honestly, out of their mouth, they said we were the best. Reason why? Because it was real. What you saw is what you get. It was nothing fake. It was nothing cliche about it. Courtney is who she is. That's who we dealt with. As we was there. So, but we're all cool. Everybody's working together, and it was fun, Everybody had different personalities. I think we was a hit show.
That's great.
Good.
I believe, but.
Well, it is television, so there's going to be some drama. So what do you remember was the biggest drama moment on the show for you guys in your season?
The big drama moment on our show, is two. I had two.
Okay.
When Leslie and Iran got into it.
Okay.
Second, when Cutter mouthed off to the judges. That was it. Those two.
And how did that end up for Cutter, by the way? Tell our listeners.
What was that?
How did that end up for Cutter when he mouthed off to the judges in season 5? For those listening who might not have seen it,
we always used to tell Cutter shut up in the room. When we was in the room, we used to just tell him shut up because some of the stuff he used to just say it should be stupid. So I just feel like shut up.
So who won at the end, the judges or Cutter?
The judges, of course.
I think that was a trick question. I believe that we all knew the answer to that one. So
definitely. So you said, I have a question. So you said, what was the most excitement, or you said downfall in the show?
Drama, the most dramatic moments. But we'll take any of those others too, because that sounds kind of interesting. Yeah,
that was very that was crazy, but hey, it is what it is.
Now, were people genuinely surprised, or were they really shocked when they were the ones that left at the end of the show? As they were cut, as they were judged and they didn't have the winning recipe, how did or they had to leave, how did they, we see the drama for the TV, but kind of what's the behind the scenes? Are people surprised, or do you think that they've got a sense that they're just not bringing their best foot forward when they're presenting their dishes to the chefs?
Well, there was talent in the room, so every time you stepped in that kitchen, you got to bring your A game. You always have to be on your toes. So if you get eliminated, and sometimes it was very shocking, but hey, it is what it is. We're not the judges.
Now, do you feel like it was a competitive environment, like you said, and everybody just tried to be friendly, but also try to win? And now you're going to go out and compete, with your food truck, maybe your catering business, and that's also a very competitive environment in your city or any cities you'll be competing. Do you feel like this was a good experience to prepare you to compete, to win catering gigs, and to get customers to come to your food trucks in the future?
Oh yes, definitely, totally. And I would like to say why I believe that, because since I left the show, before I went to the show, I was cooking. When I left the show, I continued cooking. And one of the things that I started doing around the city of New Orleans was business lunches. And, I've been doing great as far as with my food. And then one of the great things is that, like, the concept that I have with my food truck is very different, it's very unique, and I'm going to have elevated Creole cuisine. So, as far as with the research that I've done, not to knock, the food trucks that are out there, I just feel that, mine will be very unique and different. And for me to put my talent out on TV and for people to see and for people to have taste my food, all I have to do is just think positive,
Sure. And Christian, for our listeners, a lot of people cook at home, are passionate, maybe watch the show, How big of a transition is this? Like, you were in your kitchen cooking for your fiancé, cooking for your family, your friends, and passionate for it, to now transition to cooking more than four plates and cooking, commercially and cooking lots of amounts of food, in a shorter period of time. How tough of a transition is that for someone to do?
It's a hard transition, but I just feel what gives me the help and the idea to do it is that I worked in restaurants, and I know how a restaurant can run all night, just by being in an environment, working on the line and whatnot. So I just use the efforts from what I've done in the past, and I apply it mostly to my future. So, like, when I'm doing my lunches in the morning, I know I have to be out the door at 11 o'clock to make sure that my lunches are delivered on time and a decent temperature, for my clients. As far as when I do catering gigs, I plan an attack, making sure that, everything is in order, making sure that, my event planner has her stuff in order, just more so planning ahead. And I tell cooks, if you are just cooking at home, you should get out and go work in establishments, if it's just washing dishes or more so just being a server. just being in the establishment, learning how it could go and apply it to yourself, you know, only way you can go is up.
I think that's smart. And, you know, we tell a lot of folks who come to us who want to buy a restaurant, and we actually just had a conversation with Robert Irvine about this very same thing, that if they want to be in the restaurant industry, you know, take a job behind a bar, take a job behind the counter, or take a job delivering food, just so you start to understand the uniqueness of what's front of the house and what's back of the house. Let me ask you this. Do you have any advice for chefs that are out there listening to our radio show that may want to compete?
Compete on the show?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, as far as the advice that I can give is the most important. Love what you do, be passionate at what you do, and be great at what you do. Everybody want to be great, but practice. Practice makes perfect. You know, you got to keep cooking. You cook every single day to be good. Me, I didn't go to school for cooking. Not even. You know, I've taught myself, and honestly, not want to knock the ones that has degrees, but I just feel if you're more so hands-on and you want to just teach yourself, just keep cooking.
Okay.
Just keep cooking.
So you self-taught yourself how to train to cook and everything like that. So you're like more of like a G. Garvin type of person, where G kind of self-taught, did not go to any kind of formal training. He kind of figured out on his own by trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error. That's it. You know, and I'm sure there's not just G. Garvin. You know, other chefs. You know,
Yep.
Ramsey, he taught himself before he you know went to school and everything, but. Just be dedicated at what you do, love what you do, and be passionate at what you do. And as far as being on the show, just be you. Don't be no one that you're not.
So you stay in touch with the other contestants and have a good relationship. What about the judges? Are you still in contact with them?
Well, as far as the judges, no, not really. Not Ramsey himself, because he's an icon himself. It's hard to stay in touch with him. But like far as the people that's helping me, as far as get the information that he needs and whatnot. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
But I do stay in touch with the producers.
That's excellent. We have been having a great conversation with Christian Green, a contestant on MasterChef, and he has been satisfying your appetite for acquisition, feeding the need for restaurant reality, and serving up a recipe for business success. Stay tuned as We Sell Restaurants continues with our show. Remember, we are the industry leader in restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, and site location for the food service industry.